Okay. Hi, Kylie. This is Katina from Geelong Wellbeing Centre. I'm not sure if this is recording. Oh, it is. Hello. Sorry, guys. We're all new to this. So welcome to the Geelong Wellbeing Centre. And I'm introducing each practitioner that works at the centre. And Kylie is our Kundalini Yoga teacher, amongst many other things that she has on her, her plate. She does a lot of other things as well. So I'm just introducing you to Kylie. Hi, Kylie. How are you?
Good, Katina. How are you?
Very well. Now, I loved Kundalini Yoga. I did try it out in Paros, one of the Greek islands last year, and I just thought, oh, why haven't I done this before? It's just amazing, all the breath work. I mean, it's not so much a lot of movement with your body, but it was the breath, it's the breath, and it does shift a lot of things. And I prayed for someone to come into my centre to do Kundalini Yoga, and then you appeared. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful and blessed to have you at our centre. Now, Kylie, because of the situation we're in at the moment with the coronavirus, it's pushing us all to do things online. So you've started doing your yoga online, and I've tried a couple of those, and they're really excellent. I love doing them from my own home. So if you can tell us a few things about yourself, please, and what you do in your spare time. Tell us a little bit.
Okay. Well, yoga, of course, is the first thing that's on my list when I think about what I do in my free time. I love walking. So I love walking with my dog, Frankie, who's a miniature schnauzer. She's just so gorgeous. So we walk every day, and I love family walks with my beautiful husband, Wes, and our twin boys, Liam and Charlie, on weekends. So we always do family walks then. I love being active, so riding, running as well. I love writing. I love reading. I love watching movies, and lately I've been binging a little bit too much on Netflix and probably eating a little bit too much chocolate, but I don't think I'm alone there. And I love catching up with my girlfriends for drinking some great food. So I've had to be a little bit, think outside the box in terms of how I've been able to connect with them. But we've had a couple of Zoom catch-ups like we are now, so that's been really nice.
Yeah, so Zoom is it's new to me. I've never ever used it before, and I'm just learning. Of course, we've all got a few hiccups, but I highly recommend it for people who want to have group chat with their family. There's also other apps as well, isn't there? There's WhatsApp, there's Messenger, where people meet. So a lot of different apps. So I just wanted to ask you, Kylie, because obviously you're a very active person, and it is difficult for everyone who's been asked to stay at home, but it's actually more difficult for those who've got to go out to work as well, because they've got the load of the country, really, haven't they? Our doctors, our nurses, emergency services, the takeaway cafes, people that still have to, the school teachers, mustn't forget those, everyone that's working outside of their home. So we're very grateful to them. But we've obviously learning to communicate on a different level. So, and we can reach many more people. So we've had to change our way of doing our business. So from face to face, physically, we're now online, and it's lovely to see you there and, be able to communicate. So can you tell me how and why did you start your business, your yoga?
That's a good question. Well, 20 years ago, I started to experience a little bit of anxiety and panic attacks. I was working in a really stressful corporate job, and I actually almost came close to suffering a bit of a breakdown. So as well as working with a coach and a psychologist, I decided to explore the world of meditation and yoga. And pretty quickly, I was drawn to practicing meditation daily. And I'd do about two or three classes a week, and I didn't really have a particular yoga style that I was engaged with until I discovered Kundalini Yoga. So I've always felt good after meditation and yoga, but I sort of felt like there was something more that I would like to get from my practice. And when I went to my first Kundalini Yoga class, although I did find some of the yoga postures, and you mentioned before the breath work and mantra a little bit different, I was absolutely hooked after my first class. It was almost, for me, this is what I've been looking for. So I started doing Kundalini Yoga online and traveling up to Melbourne for classes, and I actually travel a lot for the work I do, the other work I do. So I was practicing Kundalini Yoga all over the world. Like I traveled to the States quite a bit last year, and
wow.
I'd get to a town, I'd be like Googling, is there a Kundalini Yoga studio here? Where is it? So I can get my fix. And I spent quite a bit of time on the West Coast in the US last year, and Kundalini Yoga is quite big there. So fortunately, I was able to find a studio. But one thing that was pretty discouraging for me, I guess, was that I couldn't do Kundalini Yoga in my own hometown of Geelong.
I know.
There was one. I know.
That's
Crazy,
why
right?
praying. I thought it's just so powerful, isn't it? It's a very powerful tool for your whole being, because it releases so much pressure, for anxiety, for releasing blockages. I mean, the other yoga is excellent as well. It's gentle, it's more stretching and what have you, the energy flow. But the Kundalini is just sort of an upper powerful healing for me. It's a healing and you tell me, it's healing, but it heals you, doesn't it? It heals, I feel.
Absolutely. It heals you, and it takes your vibrational level up just to takes it up another level, really, is what it does. So yes, I was a little bit discouraged. So I've always been brought up with the belief, if it's not working for you, you've got to do something about it. So last year I decided, okay, well, if Kundalini Yoga is not in Geelong, I guess I'm just going to have to go and do the yoga teacher training. And I couldn't touch my toes. And I have to say, the first teacher training retreat I went to, I had a moment thinking, what am I doing here? Because, I was up against all these, not up against, but sitting, amongst all these wonderful people that were very flexible and very agile. And I was not. But that's the beauty of Kundalini Yoga. You actually don't have to be super fit to do it. It's really good for beginners and anyone. And if I can get through the teacher training and do it, anyone can. So, so I'm so excited that I'm able to bring practice to Geelong and at Geelong Wellbeing Centre.
Yes, thank you. And I was really excited, as you can remember. Yes, I found someone. But really, I want to let people know that I would love more men to look at doing yoga, but in particular, the Kundalini. I mean, men think, a lot of men, I shouldn't say that about all men, but a lot of men think that yoga is more women, a lot more women do yoga than men. You go to a class and there's 20 women and maybe 2 or 3 men. I would really like to change that ratio and introduce this to the male society, young males, young boys, teenagers, fathers, just all males, because the breath work, it really changes. At the moment, we've got a lot of fear, which causes anxiety with all the news that's bombarded every minute of the day. And I think people need the breath work to release the tension and the anxiety that's building up in people. I know when I didn't do my breath work for 3 or 4 days, I started getting anxious and the fear started coming in. Oh, this is happening, that's happening, people are dying, this is all the bad news. As soon as I started my breathing again, my mind was calm and rational, not irrational. So I think more men. So to all you men out there, and to women, to encourage their partners, their sons, their brothers, encourage them to try it, and you'll see that even after just one session, how much lighter your whole body feels. I mean,
so true. And I love that you're doing a call out to some of the men to do it, because in Kundalini Yoga, I have found at some of the classes I've been to, there are more men involved with that style of yoga than there are some of the other yogas. And what I think really attracts them to it is definitely the breath work. And one of the things I learned in my yoga training is that men are actually often better meditators than women, because they can focus on one thing at a time, whereas women tend to have about 16 different tracks going on in their mind. So men can actually really, quickly adapt to the meditation, the movement, and the breath work really quickly. What's also great about Kundalini Yoga is we have a lot of yoga sets that we call kriyas that we do, and there's sets that are specifically designed for men and sets that are specifically designed for women. So on a Wednesday morning, I've started up a virtual online class specifically for women. So we're doing some things to move energy for women, but I would really love to see us do a little bit more work with men. I might have to convince my husband to become a yoga teacher. He's certainly adapted to or adopted Kundalini Yoga as well. So you never know. He can't touch his toes either. So
Well, maybe you can do a video with your husband in it, and he can be, you can be showing him the breath work, and people can learn from that, like a learning video.
Yeah.
So
he'll kill me with this recording.
He doesn't know anything about this. Maybe you could ask somebody else to do it for you. You could get a volunteer. Somebody could volunteer. But yes, if you could do one for men, that would be great. Please do that, Kylie. So what are your top tips around health and wellness?
Well, funny you should say that, because the first one is breath. So breath work is just so important. And as you mentioned before, it's so good for reducing stress and bringing about calmness and balance. And it really is a form of mindfulness. Like, a lot of people say, I can't meditate, and actually just focusing on the breath is meditation. It is mindfulness. And a lot of us don't breathe properly. We inhale more than we exhale. We hold the breath in a lot. So learning to breathe and doing breath work is so important for your health. So that's definitely a big one for me. The other one that I love to do, and I know you like to do too, Katina, is cold showers. So if you're brave enough, take cold showers, because they seriously are a game changer. They reboot the whole nervous system. They help increase endorphins. In fact, there's been research showing that they can help with depression. They improve the metabolism. Yeah, and I have this thing every morning. There are couple of times a week I don't have a cold shower, which is when I wash my hair. I haven't quite got up to that, but every other day of the week I have a cold shower. And what I notice is for the rest of the day, I have more energy. And I've got this belief that if you can get through a cold shower in the morning, you can get through anything. So nothing seems like too much of a challenge or a problem if you can get through a cold shower.
That's exactly what I say. I've been doing the Wim Hof breathing technique. And for those people who don't know, they can hop online. He's called the Iceman. And I've been doing that for over 3 months now, which is breathing technique every morning, and I do it at night. But after the breathing technique, I get into the shower. Now, the first couple of months, I really was getting into cold water. I didn't do it ease off, like with warm water, then go to cold. So that was really difficult. But apparently you don't have to do that. So I wasn't really listening. You can get into a shower, it can be warm, hot, warm, and then you gradually turn it to cooler and cooler. So I did that for 3 months, and a couple of weeks ago, I actually went the third step with Wim Hof, and I got into an ice bath. And I went into the ice bath. It was actually a green bin full of ice, and I was in there for 3 minutes. So that was like my goal. It was like, yes, I've achieved another one of my goals. And I highly recommend the cold showers. Like you said, it boosts your immune system, especially now that we need it. But if you have got a cold or the sniffles, don't have a cold shower. It's just something you have to build up. But I think it all goes in together, doesn't it? You just feel so much younger, fresher. And I say, as you said, if you can get into the cold shower, you can do anything else. You can achieve anything.
Yeah. So good for the mind. I do some transformational coaching and work with people around removing fear and being fearless. And that's one of the tips that I actually have for them is, you know, have a cold shower. That will help you get in that state of fearlessness for the day. So some other things, I suppose some other things for me are just definitely move your body every day, whether it's yoga, walking, some sort of cardio. And the other thing that I find is really helpful for me is just to have regular body work once a month, whether it's massage, Reiki, sound healing, all the awesome things that we've provided.
Massage.
Yeah, me too. Oh my goodness. I've been doing the spiky ball against the wall, but it's really not quite the same.
That would look good. So what other services do you do? Because I know you have another modality to your offerings with the Fearless Way. Is it Fearless?
Yeah, the Fearless Way. So really the Fearless Way is I do a lot of coaching and development programs. So I do a fair bit of that work in the corporate space. So I do a lot for executives and leaders, and I also do a lot for women. So I've got a Fearless Females program, and it's really just working on many things, but it's really working on getting yourself from where you are now to where you want to be, could be, or should be, and just removing some of those blocks, removing some of those fears, and really working on some fearless habits to fulfill your potential and live a better life. So there's a website that you can go to for the Fearless Way for that sort of stuff.
Fantastic.
But
so you're here for the service, you're here to serve other people. You're here in service, you know, as we all are here at the Geelong Wellbeing Centre. We're all here, we've all got a big heart, and we like to give to people. And I think that's why the centre is so special to me. It's like my baby, and you're all my children. Because you've all got big hearts, and you just want to serve and help others in your life. And I think that's our life purpose, isn't it? It's helping others.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially at this time, you know, globally what's happening, I think so many people need to have disconnection from fear. So I don't think it helps when, you know, there's too much information, and sometimes we don't know how accurate it is. So people don't need to hear every single bad thing that's happening and it's in their home, and then they can't escape that because they don't know the tools. They don't have any tools to use to clear their mind. So they're just filled with all this information, and it's like getting overwhelming, and people get angry with each other because fear creates more cortisol in hormones in your body, which actually brings down your immune system. So by doing your breathing, meditation, anything like that, any of the yoga, meditation, it actually releases that, and it brings your body back and your mind, doesn't it? So
absolutely does. It's one of, well, for me anyway, it's so good for reducing stress and anxiety, and it really just brings back that balance and calmness, and you come back to center. And you only have to do, in some of the practices we do, 3 minutes of breath work with a little bit of movement. It can be an absolute game changer. Like you can go from feeling quite fearful, quite anxious, to just feeling calm and back to yourself. It's the other thing about Kundalini Yoga that I love is we call it the yoga of awareness. So it really helps you focus on awakening yourself and tapping into your own spirit and true potential. So there's a little bit of a spiritual element to Kundalini Yoga, and there's a spiritual element to most modalities of yoga, although I'm not sure about beer yoga. I'm not quite sure how spiritual that might be. But one of the things about Kundalini Yoga is it definitely connects you to, you know, that deeper part of yourself. And as I mentioned earlier, it can be done by anyone. It's so good for beginners, and you know, like all our yoga classes at Geelong Wellbeing Centre, there's no judgment. You turn up, you do your best, and you know, you have a go at it, don't you?
Thank you. What about for children? What sort of age would you start for the Kundalini breathing? Because I know you've got two sons who do the breathing. I've seen them meditate on the couch in one of your videos.
Yes, you have. Look, you can do normal, long, deep breathing with children of all ages. Often getting them to concentrate for that long is a little bit tricky. But usually about the age of 12 is when you can start to do some of the more complex breath work that we can sometimes do in Kundalini Yoga. So my boys, twin boys, they're 12. So they're at a pretty good age to actually introduce and start that. But the other thing that in Kundalini Yoga, most classes or all of our classes always have movement, meditation, mantra, and breath work. And some of the meditations are so easy to adapt to and make it a little bit easier to actually meditate. So one of the things that is really great for the kids, if you can't do some of the breath work, or they find it a little bit tricky, or even some of the movements, is to do some of the meditations. And so my boys do quite a few of those.
Well, let's hope they become leaders in the Kundalini Yoga and teach other boys and males to use this valuable tool. Okay,
well, so I did have them doing a full moon meditation last night, although one of them really fell asleep, so I'm not sure we might go yet.
That full moon yesterday was very, very powerful and very emotional. I could really feel it. And I'm sure a lot of other people felt it. So a lot of people feeling vulnerable, emotionally exposed because of everything that's going on. But I think that's hit its peak now. So everyone out there, start thinking calm and peace, and everything's going to be fine. Everything's fine now. Imagine that this is all ended, and this is actually a new beginning. And I do constantly pray for all those people out there that are less fortunate positions than we are. Where they haven't got food, where they're isolated, they're on their own. So let's pray for those and be grateful for what we do have here. We always have people that are willing to help us here in Australia, and all you've got to do is ask. So if you're on your own, please, you can hop onto our Geelong Wellbeing Centre community Facebook page, or you can just call the centre, and I'm happy to speak to anyone, as I know all the practitioners are happy to speak to anyone as well who needs some guidance and help. So with that in mind, Kylie, how can people contact you? Obviously you're at the centre, but there's a few ways, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a few ways. I actually am getting a website built for the Fearless Way, and the yoga will sit under that website, but it's not quite finished. Not quite finished yet. So the best places to find me are at the Geelong Wellbeing Centre website, and also on social media. So both pages, either on Facebook or Instagram, are called Kundalini Yoga Geelong.
Great. And also you'll be communicating on that Geelong Wellbeing Centre community Facebook page for anyone who's got questions as well. So
absolutely,
there's a few avenues there. There's quite a few avenues. So thank you so much, Kylie. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Have I forgotten to ask you anything really important?
No, I don't think you have. I mean, I feel like we're just having a nice little catch up and chat. I actually forgot we were doing a video recording for a moment there, which is sort of how we roll at Geelong Wellbeing, don't we?
We do. And when's your next class? Is it Wednesday?
Yes, so I have a class for women on Wednesday mornings from 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. and then a Saturday class from 9:30 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. And actually I've got I'm doing a 3 for free offer. So
lovely.
Come along and, just try out the classes for free. I often find if you do the class a couple of times, it speaks for itself. You either like it or you don't. And because it's a little bit tricky for people at the moment in terms of finances and things are a bit tight. What I'm doing is, after those free classes, if you want to sign up to the Kundalini Yoga classes, we've got unlimited online classes for $20 a month. So if you come to every class,
that is excellent. I mean, that's the cost. That's actually less than the cost of one class when you do a class live. So So $20 for unlimited sessions for a month, 1 month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really generous of you, and we're here to help everyone. So, and at the same time, you know, we do have a building, an empty building at the moment at the centre, but people are going online so they can continue, because we all need to keep our work going, but we also want to help people that cannot afford it at this time. So we're all offering, you know, complimentary free services to everyone who comes onto our, you know, website or whatever, to our practitioners. So Kylie, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to doing my next Kundalini yoga with you.
Yeah.
Yes. And enjoy this beautiful day. It's a lovely day today. And thank you very much for your time. It's really appreciated.
As always, and as we say in Kundalini, Satnam.
Satnam to you. Okay, bye.
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 You can stop the recording, I think.